Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media. The Legend of Korra Season 4, Balance, is the fourth and final season of the animated series Legend of Korra by Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Coniscio. It consists of 13 episodes, all animated by Studio Mir. The episodes were made available on Nickelodeon's website and other outlets each Friday beginning October 3rd, 2014. I'd say even 6 years after all of this has already been produced, still an amazing show. It premiered on Nicktoons the end of November, the 28th of 2014. Generally, it would say that the critical reception was overall pretty positive. Book 4 is set 3 years after the previous season. It deals with Avatar Korra's journey of self-discovery following the physical and psychological injuries she incurred with the fight of Zahir, and with the unrest in the Earth Kingdom, where Kuvira, formerly a security officer in Suyin's Beifong's service, seeks to seize power by military force. The season is then followed up by graphic novel trilogy Turf Wars that picks up immediately after the series finale. I'm going to say straight up front that I have finished this series about 2 months ago, so my detailed knowledge of this fourth season is going to be a little bit more vague than usual. I'm going to kind of refer to more of the Wikipedia notes and what other podcasts have referred to. I will link some better reviews for this season 4 in the description, mostly because I feel like they've done a little bit better of a job. They were a little bit more in depth about what they were talking about with regards of, like a scene by scene breakdown for this season. I'm not going to do to that extent. I'll say overall, I enjoyed the hell out of this season and series. I'd say it's a very strong season. It's not nearly as strong as the third season, but I will say it's just right up there with the fourth. And the fourth is just right up there with the third. I would say that the third season is my favorite. However, the fourth feels like a very solid prologue that would happen towards the epilogue at the end of the series. I did enjoy it. When we're talking about in the first episode, we're introduced to all of the characters again. It's very much, the reuniting. This is kind of have a little spoilers in it. It's chapter 1 after all these years. 3 years after the defeat of Zahir, the Vane Prince Wu is about to be crowned Earth King, and Mako is assigned to be his bodyguard. Everyone is very much grown up. You can see from the animation style down to how the way people are acting to the way they look. You can just tell it all in this first episode. Opal and Kai try to protect the community from the bandits with limited success. It's kind of like, passing on the torch to these younger people that are going to be protecting the world. The thing about what's really strong about this fourth season is that it's bringing back all of these characters that we've seen over the past couple seasons and really fleshing them out. Even characters such as Julie and Varric, all the way down to the Beifongs and the entire Beifong family. It's just it's really exciting and fun to watch. It's very much showing how Korra is dealing with the psychological and physical effects of what Zahir has done to her. And I felt like I could really relate to this story with Korra, mostly because I was in a car wreck this year, and I felt like my body was kind of in the same state as what hers is at the beginning of this. I wasn't sure if she was going to be in a wheelchair, not wheelchair bound the entire time. I was going to be surprised if she was, but she did have some sort of physical therapy that was happening, and it actually encouraged me to go to physical therapy because I was kind of resistant to go into the physical therapy to pay for, something I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not. But I honestly Um, I'm really glad I went to physical therapy, and I felt like a little bit of what I saw in Korra kind of encouraged me to go to the doctor to help me feel better. And it's quite something to see an animation supposed that is generally geared towards young people have to go through like real physical therapy. It shows the representation of you are not invincible, which is something I think kids don't exactly understand until a certain age. I feel like I felt, quote unquote, invincible till about 23, and then my body started shutting down. It's like, oh my goodness. Um, so yes, continuing on, I'm just going to kind of hop around. Chapter 3, at Wu's coronation in Republic City, Wu gets no fucking respect throughout this whole thing. Kuvira refuses to yield power to him, instead announcing that she will consolidate the territories under the control into a new Earth empire. She's trying to bring everyone together using kind of force, but it's the wrong way to do it. It's kind of Napoleon-esque in a way that you are doing it. It's like, I'll provide all the food, but you got to bow down to me kind of thing. This creates a rift between her and the other world leaders, including Su Yin, as well as between Bolin and Mako. I will say, how could you have Bolin be this naive, thinking that they're sending people to camps and stuff like that, and it's okay? That this is one thing, is you have to believe that they've been going around all these Earth cities and Earth towns and all these other places and saying, we'll help you, but if you don't listen to us, we're going to send you to some like reconcentration camp, some straight up Holocaust shit to get you reconfigured to want to live in this type of society again. She's not giving people that big of that many options, to be honest. Meanwhile, in the Banyan Swamp, Toph agrees to help Korra regain her strength through the methodology largely consists of browbeating Korra and beating her up with still formidable earthbending. She finds residual metal poison inside Korra but can't remove it. Korra subconsciously resists, scarred by her previous traumas. This is like a PTSD subplot. Meanwhile, Tenzin sends Jinora, Ikki, and Milo to search for Korra, and Varric experiments on spirit vines for Kuvira. So I'm going to kind of push forward all the way to the end of this season, because I did want to just talk about, how Toph and how this is kind of set up. It's very much the psychologically traumatized Korra is trying to fight her inner demons, and literally she's seeing like a piece of herself in other the enemies, and so she's trying to fight that darkness away. And so we get the sides of Korra, her recovery, and then we see why Kuvira is influenced to try to step in. And so we're going to kind of hop on to the very last episode. I'm sorry I'm not being more specific about it, but for the sake of time, I think this is the best way to do it. Chapter 13. In the mech's control room, Korra and Kuvira fight one another. Meanwhile, Team Avatar begin to take the giant apart from the inside. I want to say just the reveal of the robot and just what was going to happen to the city was jaw-dropping. And the way that the sound effects kind of bring you in, it's just like, I mean, it's straight up, it's the spirit cannon. It's like, you're done. It doesn't matter what's in front of it, you're done. It just blasts through the entire town, and through the entire city of Republic City. So when they're trying to take it down, I'm glad that this is a smart enough show to say, all right, why can't we just metal bend this shit? And so I think they say it's like platinum or something like that, and they can't bend platinum of some sort. I don't remember exactly the reasoning, but yeah, I was surprised to see that they were going as far as saying, why can't we bend it? They're smart to say, let's try this, or let's not try this, or at least a one-line explanation. So Team Avatar begin to take the giant apart from the inside. Su Yin and Lin disable its arm and weapon, and Bolin Mako detonate its power source, with Mako rising and nearly losing his life to blow the Colossus into pieces. I love this part with Mako nearly losing his life. It's very cinematic in a way that you feel like this easily could be his last time. And I don't remember if his arm is in a sling at the end, but like I said, it's been like 2 or 3 months since I've watched this, and I just really have been too busy to record this, and so I'm just trying to get it out. I don't remember exactly what happened to his arm, but I do remember. I think he was in a sling. I don't think he loses his arm. So Mako risking and nearly losing his life to blow the Colossus into pieces. Korra and Kuvira crash land in the city's spirit wilds. I will say the fight between Korra and Kuvira is so awesome when they're fighting in the head of the robot and they have all these like pieces of liquid metal that are flying all over the place. It's easily some of the best fighting I've seen in not only this series, but in a lot of animated series, not only just animated American animated series, but it's pretty good for even matching up to like Japanese animation, in my opinion. Anime. So they crash land in the spirit wilds, and Kuvira activates the discarded cannon, triggering a staggering and self-sustaining release of energy powered by the vines surrounding them. Leaping to block the beam of the weapon from annihilating Kuvira, Korra enters the Avatar state and channels the massive outpouring of energy, redirecting it and miraculously creating a third portal into the spirit world. I did find this pretty interesting in the way that this is like, the immovable object meets the unstoppable force. And I do feel like a little bit that we weren't given 100% the best Avatar state stuff in this season. The best Avatar state, I would say, was in season 3, in my personal opinion. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with this, but I just felt like season 3 was like the epitome of the Avatar state, and kind of finding that euphoria, but also like it felt like season 2 was like the biggest low you could have. So it was like season 1 was the status quo. Season 2 was bringing it to its low. Season 3 was bringing it to its high. Season 4 is like bringing it to its conclusion. But I really felt like I could have gone a little bit more, and I could have had a little bit more Avatar stateness. I felt like because it was so on and off and so easy for her to go into it, that when she doesn't have it, it's like, wow, it's a lot more difficult for her, which, makes for a little bit more better of a fight, I guess. So they create a third portal into the spirit world. I do like how when they're destroying the spirit wilds, that all of the spirits begin to disappear, and it's kind of sad. It's like they wanted them to leave for so long, and then they start to leave. I think it's like episode 10 or 11 or something like that, and it's like, oh no, don't leave like that. I mean, we didn't want you in the middle of the road, but we didn't want you to just like get up and disappear. It was like, what's happening to him? And so, I've watched Spirited Away since this, and I can definitely see some similarities from that movie influenced into what this Avatar spirit world is. Go to the Patreon for LuckyDog Podcast, and you can listen to the entire Spirited Away movie review. We have the non-spoiler section available for free as well in the regular feed. So, emerging into the spirit world, Kuvira and Korra commiserate over their hardships and the mistakes they have made. Kuvira concedes defeat and is arrested upon returning to the physical world. Weeks later, at Julie and Varric's wedding, I do want to talk about Julie and Varric. They have an entire subplot through this season that basically took all of the lines that were the time that would have been for like Tenzin or any of the Aang's kids to talk really went to Varric and Julie. I was very surprised that they were going to give these people, or that they give these supporting characters that much time, which makes it feel like there aren't that many supporting characters. It's an ensemble cast. I mean, everybody's a supporting character and a main character, if you know what I mean. These writers did an amazing job bringing the Julie and Varric as real people. I enjoyed the hell out of this, honestly. Varric still is an asshole, and he almost tries to kill him and Bolin even after they tried to escape from what was it, Kuvira and whatnot. I just thought that the execution of them was really impressive. Who else do we? Batar Jr. I think that was the other person that they were running away from. But the whole little subplot with Varric and Bolin, hilarious. The thing about this series was it was always excellent with balancing. It was always excellent with balancing an amazing story, beautiful visuals. It was funny at times. It would make you maybe tear up a little bit here and there. And it really did feel like there was a balance of all of these things really working on all cylinders. It's a strong show, and you can see how these people have become even more successful since then. So yeah, like having supporting characters like Julie and Varric, having the ups and downs, them being almost to nothing characters. At least Julie was a nothing character. I think, what was it, season 2 or season 3, and she was a joke. And they write her into the story by season 4 as a solidified character. Now, I don't know if that's a good relationship they got right there. They definitely have some sort of issues going on. But overall, I think we're supposed to enjoy what their relationship has come to. And I think ultimately we have. And it's a beautiful little wedding at the end. And I love how I think they have like Varric saying, "Hey, the camera's supposed to be on me, you asshole." It's like he's such a conceited ass. But I guess they'll figure that out, hopefully. Wu announces his intent to abdicate in favor of democratic Earth states. Let me just talk about Wu. I love the voice acting on Wu. He was very Disney, is what I would call this character. He felt so much more animated, and almost like the frames per second was higher on him. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but he just felt like a different character from a different world, and he was a interesting energy to have in Korra season 4 that I enjoyed. And even with his little terrible singing at the end with the mole rats and saving the people, I like how he has like a comeuppance at the end that makes him feel like a fleshed out character, like everyone kind of did accomplish something. Wu announces intends to abdicate in favor of democratic Earth states. Korra and Asami plan a trip together to the spirit world, and the last scenes of the series, the two walk hand in hand into the new spirit world. Now, I think that everyone agrees that this last little scene is almost series breaking in a way. I hadn't even given thought to that Korra and Asami would ever become some sort of item. I thought that they were always just shy of just being really great girlfriends. And when they kind of do some longing shots and stuff like that resembled what Aang and Katara were going through at the end of their series, I was like, oh my goodness. I was taken off guard, and my heart was just like full 10 times. It's Christmas time, so I'm having to do the Grinch stuff, So yeah, my heart grew 10 times when I saw that. I was just floored. I was like, wait a second, they are going with a romantic relationship. This is no longer a friendship. And obviously, if you're a child, you're just like, okay, they're holding hands. It's not really thinking that much. But depending on what age you are, you could really read into this and just see this animation that is defying a new moment in time for what we are used to seeing on television and stuff like that. I know that this was in 2014, and so it was probably produced in 2013 at least. And so just with having all of that 7 years ago at this point when we've watched this, I was just floored, absolutely floored. I loved it. Now, before I talk about anything else about this, good or bad, obviously, I think the entire series is phenomenal. It's definitely absolutely worth watching. If for some reason you listen to this and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I just heard the entire thing and didn't even watch it," go back and watch it. It's nothing I could have said would suffice to say that it was not worth your time. This is absolutely worth your time. I want to go see more stuff that these people have done. I think Michael and Brian, what have they been doing recently? They're both let me see. So Brian is doing I don't know what John Terabaric is. I don't know what that is, honestly. Revealed that okay, so the only thing that I can really see that him and Brian and Michael have done recently is on August. They said that they were leaving Netflix on the live action series that was supposed to be based on the Last Airbender. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not sure if this is going to be nearly as good without these guys. I think they really, they know what they're talking about, and they have, like I said, great balance. And so, yeah, I don't know. They left the project, and it looks like Adventures in Wonder Park was the last thing that Michael was on, and I'm not sure if that really did that great, to be honest. I can't believe that's what he went to. This doesn't even look like anything like they have produced before, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'll keep an eye on them, see if they do anything that I really am enjoying. I didn't realize that these guys have worked on, or at least Brian worked on. Michael worked on Family Guy a little bit, which is probably interesting to see what kind of Family Guy episodes he's directed. I was not expecting to see that, although there's like a bajillion episodes of fucking Family Guy. My lord. Yeah, talk about royalty checks, my Lanta. So anyways, yeah, I absolutely love this show. Check it out if you haven't. If you like all this type of stuff and you haven't seen The Last Airbender, go ahead and check The Last Airbender. And we did the reviews on all the seasons on those. Let me know how I can improve. Let me know on the podcast. Let me know what you thought about The Legend of Korra Season 4 and the series as a whole. Did it hold up for you? Did you love it as much as I did? What things were you more critical on? I'm trying to think of anything more critical on. I would have said just have a little bit more of Aang's kids in there. I felt like they were a little cut shrift, but I thought the pacing in this was pretty well done. I will say there was one episode, if I remember correctly, that just felt like it was a flashback episode, and it was just showing all of these different perspectives of what have happened over the last couple seasons from different perspectives. And I understand that they would do that only because they're trying to save some money and kind of pad out the time a little bit. Honestly, I don't think every season has to be the same episode length. If the story doesn't suffice being a full 13, then just make it 12. But I don't know. The thing is, it's not a perfect season, to be honest, but it still was. It's very heartwarming, and that last scene is just. Wiki says it's becoming. And the last series shot intended to show Asami and Korra becoming a romantic couple, as seen pushing the boundaries of LGBT representation in children's television. It's just they're making history with this, and so I think one of the podcasts I'm going to recommend is the one with Screen Crushers Matt Patches and Joanna Robinson and Devendra Hardwar. They're fun to listen to, and they are really knowledgeable on the series. They do like a play-by-play for all of the episodes, and I just really enjoyed it. So I'll be sure to link that in the description, a little bit more thorough than what my reviews are. So, but if you like my reviews, let me know how I can improve. Let me know the television shows that you're interested in, and maybe I'll be able to review a couple of those. To support the podcast, please go to patreon.com/LuckyDog Podcast. To get this live, go on Twitch. To get it early, go on YouTube, Patreon. To get it mastered, get it on SoundCloud. There's many ways that you can listen to the Lucky Dog Podcast and support the podcast to keep us going, keep us fueled up. And in the avatar state, when we get these things coming in, we'll be definitely in the avatar state, always improving on the podcast, if you know what I mean. So thank you for listening, watching Look It All Podcast. Be sure to rate, share, subscribe, do what you can to do 5 stars on iTunes. And yeah, thank you for listening, watching Look It All Podcast. Take it easy. And there can always be more Appa. I gotta say, I feel like the last thing I always think about is like Appa and Momo. What was it, Naga? Yeah, these animals in this series, to be honest, that might have been the biggest misfire. Not having more Appa, but I will see. What did we get? We got the snotty Appa. I guess that'll have to suffice. Snotty Appa. I forgot what her name was. It was.
I remember it was Oogie. This is future Elias. Ignore me.
Opal's Appa, but I can't find it anywhere. But I'll let y'all put that in the comments. But yeah, snotty Appa, yip yip.